Okay, ladies, listen up because today we are talking about the cycle of cheating, how men excuse the way they use and abuse, and how one of the realest examples of this happened on reality television. And yes, I am talking about AD and Clay from Love is Blind, so spoilers. And as always, make sure to check out the F the Nice Guy podcast. So here is AD or Amber, and here's Clay. Now, when they are initially getting together on Love is Blind, Clay is actually pretty straightforward about his issues, unlike a lot of the men this season. He is upfront with her about the fact that he very much cares about appearance despite being on Love is Blind. He also is very straightforward about the fact that he has a lot of work to do, and that she'll need to work with him and work on him in order for their relationship to work. Right away, this dynamic set off all the red flags for me because she came here looking for a partner, not a project. She's a fully formed, emotionally mature person, and he is openly saying, yeah, I'm not there yet, but you should put in the work to be with me. Like he is the prize. That she just needs to be patient with him. But why is it so one way? Additionally, Clay talks a lot about the fact that he is a product of a man who is a cheater. He says that his mom and his dad were together for 24 years and that his dad started cheating within the 7th year of their marriage, supposedly. I say supposedly because who knows when it actually started. And that his mom stayed. And not only that, he knew about the cheating and his dad even took him when he would go cheat. He says he doesn't even have a man in his life that doesn't cheat on his wife or partner. But I think what's most red flag about that is the way he talks about cheating. He almost talks about it like it's this curse he's having to deal with. Like it's unavoidable, it's coming for him, but most importantly, it's outside of himself. It's like the men are like, I'm fighting my demons. Instead of like, I have an anger issue. It takes all of the accountability away and it puts it outside of themselves. As if cheating isn't a choice. Or rather, cheating is 1,000 choices you make. Not just to cheat itself, but to hide and to lie to your partner. But I digress. Even after all this, AD decides to pick him and be with him. She continuously reassures him that she's there for him. She'll do anything for him. She's supportive of him. And to me, it became very obvious very quickly that she may subscribe to the idea that what it takes to fix a bad man or a troubled man is a good woman. That he just needs to be loved more, supported more. He just needs to feel safe. I hate this ideology. Why do women have to pay the price of bad men? Why do women bear the burden of making men good? And it also perpetuates this idea of like, I just need to do more. And that's where you see women being in long-term relationships with men who treat them poorly because they're like, if I just stay in this, if I just fight harder, if I just show he is the one, I love him, he'll stay or he'll change. When in reality, we all know cheating has almost nothing to do with the woman in the relationship and almost always has everything to do with the man. And it also perpetuates the idea that when a man finally finds a good enough woman and changes, that all the women that came before the woman that makes him change were not good enough. It almost puts blame on them for what happened. Just like cheating is a choice, changing is a choice. Yet the good woman ideology makes it so that a woman is blamed if the man cheats. And it's the woman's responsibility to make the man not cheat. Let's move on. Let's talk about a good woman. This is Clay's mom. By all accounts, she is a good woman. I say in quotations because I think the idea of like, oh, you're a good woman is ridiculous. She is just a wonderful person by all accounts. Clay adores her. Amber adores her. Even Amber's mom talks about what a good woman she is. Now, she also talks about putting in the work when it comes to a marriage. And we know, here's Clay's dad, that she stood by him after he cheated. Now, I'm not putting any judgment on that, but I'm just saying she has lived that life. This is the after of an affair, and I feel like Clay and AD are the before. And we will get to this heartbreaking conversation shortly. So back to Clay and AD. She has stood by him the nights he doesn't come home, all the talks he talks to her about, like how he's terrified he's going to cheat. Again, like it's just going to happen. It's going to happen out of nowhere. And yet she remained. And don't forget, when a man tells you who he is and what he thinks he's going to do, that is a warning sign. That is a seed that's being planted. Because I guarantee if they would have gotten married and he would have cheated, he would have said, I told you so. You stayed. I warned you. Do not think a man is necessarily being honest with you for the sake of honesty or vulnerability. He may be saying, I'm going to do this. I'm warning you. And when I do it, you can't be mad about it because I already told you. So we get to their wedding day. Obviously, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but it seemed very much like AD thought he was going to say yes. And he doesn't. He tells her no. She is absolutely heartbroken and blindsided. Now, mind you, AD told Clay, this is it. Either you marry me or we're done. She was straightforward about it. So he just obliterates her at the wedding. Her heart is shattered. She's humiliated. She walks out with her family. I had the shivers watching it. But how he behaves after is very telling. He basically goes up to her and is trying to love on her, kiss on her, hug on her, tells her how bad he feels, but never even sheds a tear, never looks upset, talks a lot about himself, how much he's learned, and basically acts like they're still together. Even though Amber has made it incredibly clear she is not interested. Her face has no emotion. She has tears just streaming from her eyes. And he says, I'm not rejecting you. And keeps saying how he's going to do the work and how they're basically going to be together. Absolutely ignoring the fact that she said, no, I don't want to do that. He's like, no, I'm going to do this my way. So yeah, we're still together and sorry about the whole altar thing. He tells her he loves her. And she says one of the most poignant lines, I think, that anybody who's like dated a man who needs work or like is using you to help him grow, I think it will resonate with you. Because again, he's just like saying, I learned so much about myself through the process. She says, I feel like a sacrifice. You learned so much about yourself and you used me to do it. That is the story of so many women. Men feel justified using women to process their emotions, to hold their trauma, to take out their anger on. Clay knew he had work to do, but he used Amber to grow. He takes zero accountability for the way that he has treated her through this process. Like it's all well and good as long as Clay got to grow. It is bizarre seeing him kiss on her and be like, I'm not rejecting you. I want to be with you. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to do the work for you. After just rejecting her at the altar. The gaslighting is insane. And then we get to the scene with his parents. And that is where I think we see the full cycle. Here's Clay's dad, the cheater, okay? And he's on the show, and with his very limited airtime, one of the main things he talks about is his own accomplishments. He lists off all his athletic achievements. What? And in my mind, I see a man who thinks his worth is based in his achievements, which is the type of guy that ends up cheating because they get validation through the things they can do, and then they hit an age where they no longer can do those things and they aren't getting validation, so where do they seek it? But I digress. She's talking to him about the fact that Clay has issues with marriage because of the way that he treated her. She brings up the fact that she didn't know some things even now that he did, like the taking Clay on the cheating. She learned that through making the show. All these years later, the betrayals continue from this man. And when she calls out the fact, you didn't treat me well, there's a moment where he kind of breaks down and you almost assume he's going to take accountability, but he doesn't. He talks about the fact that his dad was absent. And let me tell you, when men say girls have daddy issues, they have way more. And he uses this to excuse his behavior. And the most heartbreaking part is he then says, Clay just needs to find a good woman. Tell him to meet somebody like you. Huh? He's saying this to the woman he cheated on. Yeah, but you met me, but you wasn't good to me. No response to that. This is how the cycle continues. Men refusing to take accountability. Women thinking they can fix them. Passing that ideology down to their children. I hate it.